Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first in our series of interviews with Rock Hill Symphony Orchestra musicians. So often you see us from the audience, and I thought I would give you a chance to meet some of our more talented musicians in a more personal way. And I thought we'd start with the group who will be performing in Rock Hill next weekend. With me tonight is with our members of the Rock Hill Symphony Orchestra Brass Quintet. They'll play two concerts in Fountain Park on Sunday afternoon. October 18th will be the first one at 3 p.m. The next one is 2 weeks later on November 1st. Both concerts are live, outdoors, and free to the public. There's a parking garage right in the corner, so no better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than with these people playing some great music. We have Bill Anioni on trumpet. You guys can wave as I introduced you. Marissa Youngs, second trumpet. Eric Gilfus, horn. Justin Eisenhower, trombone. And tuba is Doug Black. You can see their musical biographies on our site, on our website, but I thought I'd have them tell you a bit about themselves as people and what their musical interests are. So they can start. This is informal, so whoever speaks first gets to speak first.
We'll go in score order, and I'll start. I hope you can hear me. My name's Bill Anoni. I live in Charleston, and recently moved to Charleston from Columbia. But I did my doctorate in trumpet performance at USC. Before that, I was in the Wichita Symphony. And before that, I was in Arizona State. And my main musical instruments or musical interests are early music. So I play natural trumpet and cornetto, recorder, alphorn, a few things like that. Yeah, that's about it.
And our other trumpet player, Marissa.
Yes. So I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I've lived in Rock Hill about 2 years now. I did my undergraduate degree in music education in Pennsylvania, and then moved to Boston for a master's and got my doctorate in Kentucky, University of Kentucky. And for me, musical interests, I've always been very into chamber music, and everything has always been a big part. Brass quintet is actually one of my favorite things. But other than that, I do a little bit of early music as well, and just kind of dabbling in a bunch of things. Right now, I'm actually getting into a little bit more composing and arranging. So that's something that I enjoy doing as well.
Great. Horn. Eric.
Hey guys, my name is Eric Gilfus. I play the French horn, and I did my undergraduate in Florida at Stetson University, and then I moved on to Indiana University for my master's and PD. After that, moved out to Colorado, and now I'm here in Columbia, South Carolina. I've been here for 5 years, and I moved to be closer to family. I absolutely love living in South Carolina. There's so much support for the arts, and it's also a little flatter. I like biking too, so Colorado is very challenging for that. So yeah, I'm really excited to be playing with people again. Thankful for this event to happen. Brass Quintet is awesome. It's my favorite chamber group. And actually, when I was 12 years old, I went to see Canadian Brass, and I was inspired by them to, maybe I can do this. And so I actually got to study with the hornist, Jeff Nelson, from Canadian Brass at Indiana University. And so I know we've got a great program lined up for everyone, and I won't take up any more of your time on that. We'll move on to either Doug or Justin, I guess.
How about Justin?
Yeah, so actually that's cool, Eric. I didn't know that you had a Colorado connection. I got my master's at the University of Northern Colorado out there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I actually grew up in this area. I grew up in Fort Mel, so just across the river, and then was away and taught in Arkansas for a little while. Played in the Arkansas Symphony, and then I teach at Winthrop now, so the job there. Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like in a lot of ways, brass chamber music was made for this moment, like outdoor
Yeah.
instruments, and we can be spaced apart, and yeah, outdoor audiences. So it's an exciting time, and I think this is going to be a great couple of programs to really take in some live music for the first time in a long time.
And Doug.
All right. Well, I'm living here in Rock Hill with, Justin and Marissa. We're all teaching here at Winthrop University. And I moved here from Greensboro, North Carolina, where I did my DMA at UNCG. And before that, I lived in Normal, Illinois, getting my master's at Illinois State. And I think right now, my interests are really in chamber music because, well, that's what we're allowed to have right now. And early music. I just bought a new Serpent. Don't tell my wife. She'll find out when it comes in the mail tomorrow.
You can sleep on my couch if you need to, Doug. It'll be all right.
A
Thank
serpent.
you. Need to.
That's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, well, we share a similar interest because I'm also really interested in early music. A lot of people don't know that yet, but I've been working a lot with Toffel music over the years because I'm near Toronto. It's such a great Baroque orchestra, with natural brass and listening to a lot of cornetto music as I've acquired a Baroque violin and have Baroque bow for years now. It's just great to play that music on the instruments that was written for. It changes everything. So, and it's wonderful to hear brass players that play those things. They're challenging, but it's the real thing. And that's a hardcore group. No shoulder rests, no chin rests. I mean, like the whole really original way to do it. And but yeah, I think I remember also Marissa had in your bio where did you go to school at Indiana University?
It's Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which
Because I know it because I grew up close by. I'm from Pennsylvania too. So I
Okay.
came from when I was a kid. I lived in Johnstown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
I've
it's
been
right there.
Yeah.
And played in the Johnstown Symphony was like in school, high school.
Yeah, I played in there in my college
You
years.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that's great. And tell us a little bit about the music that you're going to be playing. I think Eric picked some
All
of
right.
it out, right?
Fun program that was easy for everyone to appreciate. And so I've got a little bit of everything. We've got a little bit of early brass music. Starting off with jazz Bach, we've got Contrapunctus, and then we move on to one of my favorite pieces. It's Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral by Wagner, and it is a beautiful piece. You might recognize it without knowing the name of the piece, so I hope you guys do come and check that piece in particular out. We play a few more classical pieces, Gabriele, Pachelbel, Handel. And then we move on to something that's a little bit more modern to get people excited, maybe start to dance, we'll see. We've got a two-step and other early ragtime building onto Alexander Rag, That's a Plenty, and then Sensation Rag. After that, we're going to move on to some Ellington, get jazzy in there, allow ourselves to get a little bit freer with our expressions. We don't have to be very strict like with classical music. And so I'm really excited about us just having fun with this piece and getting the crowd involved. They want to dance, great. Let's see, we've got Putting on the Ritz, Fly Me to the Moon, Livery Stable Blues is actually a piece I recently came across, and that's a lot of fun. So you'll have to try to listen out for funny extended techniques, kind of like in Sleigh Ride, you've got that whinny, the horse whinny that the trumpets do. I've always been jealous of that. But we've got that and some other animals. So you'll have to keep your ears perked and see what you think you hear.
Animal sound. So it'll be good for kids too, if kids came.
Yes,
Yeah.
highly
They'd like it.
recommend kids coming out to this. The performances I've done so far as chamber groups outdoors have been great. Everyone's social distance. The people are wearing masks. Um, and this is great. I love performing outside, and this is the perfect time of year to be outside. The leaves are changing, and we play brass instruments. We don't need amplifiers, and we can play in the rain, although we generally prefer not to, but we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audience would have to sit in the rain, but
Yeah.
that's the thing. I asked, had a teacher once telling me about playing concertos in England and how amazed she was at how cold the cathedrals could get.
Mm.
And I said, man, my hands get cold. She goes, they wear all these clothes under their suits, all these underwear, and they're just suffering through it in incredibly damp, cold weather. But I don't think it'll be that way in a week.
No.
It's probably going to work out fine. And but what's your favorite pieces? I mean, you've been playing some of this music, and what you think the audience would really like.
I think for the traditionalist, they're going to really like the first half of the program. We have really nice harmonies that come together, secondary voices working together, passing along our melodies between each other.
The Bach piece is written for basically anything, right? He wrote it, and it could be played by any kind of instruments, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
So it's just a
And
really
so,
fine work, and then strings could play it, brass could play it. It's just, yeah.
yeah, so that'll be neat. We'll probably have people recognize some of those earlier tunes, even though it's not particularly or originally written for brass instruments.
But it's
You have a
great. There's a
brown jet.
variety of music. That's great. You
Yeah.
guys are really. I mentioned it would be good to do, but you really came up with a real spread of variety. So it's really was nice to see that you were going to have a lot of jazz and a lot of fun music on this concert. But so outside of music, people are sometimes curious about all of us, what we like to do. And so I'll ask you, I usually am at the other side of the interview. I don't usually give the interviews, but since I am, I'm going to ask the normal questions, which, what do you do when you're not playing music that you like to do? So anyone could answer whenever.
Marissa, you should tell them about your fishing escapades.
Yeah, okay, I'll start. So I've been kayaking for a couple years, so it's been great living in Rock Hill. Lake Wiley is one of my favorite things about Rock Hill. It's 10 minutes and there I am able to go kayaking. But yeah, I do go fishing, usually catching catfish. It's mostly they're impressive sometimes, sometimes not, but sometimes they'll pull your boat around if you're kayaking.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I do some fishing, kayaking. I enjoy hiking, like a lot of outdoor things. So this has been just a perfect spot for me to live. It's been great.
I've thought about that myself. I'm on the 3 blocks from me is Lake Erie. So kayaking, it's a little daunting to look out over this. It looks like an ocean. I mean, do I really want to take a kayak in this? But I'm getting towards that idea.
Yeah, gotta check the weather on Lake Erie.
Yeah, not too much in the year, but in the summer. Anybody else?
Yeah, Eric, you bike, don't you?
I
That's
do.
like a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, actually today I did a 50-mile ride up in North Carolina and South Carolina today. About 5,000 feet of climbing, getting ready for the George Hincapie Grand Fondo Greenville. It's a race I did last year, and it was very cold and wet and rainy. So we decided to do a training ride today, and it was perfect. It was about 70 degrees. The leaves are changing, and I actually did it 1 hour faster than I did it last year. So that was awesome.
How long does it take to do 50 miles?
It took me just under 3 hours. But that's with about 5,000 feet of climbing. But if it's flat, then I can usually average around 20 mile an hour. So but that's on a road bike. So mountain biking is a little slower. Last week I got awarded the 2nd place for the state championship race for mountain biking cross country. And so that's a new sport I picked up, and that's really a lot of fun. So
I was reminded when you talk about Colorado and biking that when I was at Aspen, then the first day, some guy comes out with a cowboy hat on. It was on the board of directors, and he said, you know, we don't really like cars here, so we're making available hundreds and hundreds of bicycles to all of you. And so just go get one. So I did it. I was up and down Aspen Mountain every day. It was great.
Wow.
I was really in shape. You know, the air is so thin. In fact, brass players or wind players, they feel really in shape when they come back to sea level after Aspen. You know, it's like a thing to do out there. But that's not flat.
No.
Anybody else interests?
Yeah, so I've kind of taken a nice interest in the burgeoning craft beer scene in Rock Hill and in Fort Mill. So I've homebrewed my own beer for ages. Well, since I turned 21, I've homebrewed my own beer for a while now, and yeah, entered it in competitions and kind of done that whole thing. So it's been really nice to see that element of the culture really blossoming here in Rock Hill, and it's a good thing. Some of the functions that the College of Visual and Performing Arts at Winthrop has paired up with Slow Play Brewing, and it's been a nice part of the scene. It's been interesting to watch them kind of adapt to our current environment, and yeah, it's a really nice part of being here in this this part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Rock Hill's changing a lot. You know, having the symphony there is just, so many people are so happy about that now. It's another piece to the whole culture, the local culture. And Doug's, you've been there for a long time, right? Rock Hill, you've been teaching for Winthrop for a while?
Yeah, this is my 7th year here at Winthrop.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's been nice watching us kind of change as a town. You know, more craft brewing, which is always nice. And, you know, the orchestra is great. And I think the orchestra is wonderful for our students too, because they get a cultural experience that, you know, that they can do in town. They don't have to go up to Charlotte, and, you know, so that's kind of nice. So it feels like there's a barrier between the Carolinas with our students. I think Justin and Marissa can attest to that one, where the concerts in town, they'll go. We can require that, they're fine. But if we try to do one in Charlotte, they slam on the brakes.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have more interaction with the college, you know, master classes and things. We're looking at doing that in the future, and have real more connection with Rock Hill and its university. So it's great. Well, it's great to have this talk. I'm glad you guys consented to do this, and we just meet each other online. It's the best we can do right now. But this will be a live concert. Just wanted to mention it again, that it's Rock Hill Symphony Orchestra Brass Quintet at Fountain Park on Sunday, October 18th at 3 in the afternoon. Free admission. Bring your blanket and your lawn chair and a mask. So thanks again, and good luck to everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye.